Eric here, bringing you more of the Cranberry Lifestyle YouTube channel. In this episode, it's dark, it's cold, it's our first frost protection night of the season. Unfortunately, we're having some major issues with our irrigation system. I'm not getting enough water. I think there's an issue out in the pond with our check valve. We're gonna get out in the pond, we're gonna pull up the end of the pipe, see what it looks like. Let's hope that we can get things fixed, because frost protection season is upon us and I need to have my system up and running. All right, let's get into it. Yeah, so our temperatures just went down to almost -4. It's April 24th. What are you doing? So I'm gonna head down here, I'll turn that engine on, and we'll let it rip for a while. I don't have a whole lot of light to work with here, so it's a little awkward. It's 3 o'clock now, and my temperatures are at almost at -4. Down in those beds it gets really cold, and especially like low-lying areas. I wasn't expecting this, so I'd like to just get the system up and going. I also have some training to do today on the computer, 2 days of training. So I'm gonna get back. I'm glad I graded these roads the other day, because it's a lot easier to get down here now. See, now this system is starting to get pressurized. As I move the light, you can sort of see the sparkling. That's the frost starting to kick in now. So I'm not gonna let that get too crazy. We'll get this water up and going. As I look up in the sky and it's clear and I can see the stars, that's a good sign as well that you're gonna have frost. Things could get pretty cold. If we had cloud cover, it wouldn't be so bad. You wouldn't be experiencing any frost. When you have the cloud cover, this helps. It works as a blanket, and it holds in the warm air. This engine's been warming up, so I'm gonna crank it. As you can see, we've got another blowout here. So I would say the riser just wiggled off after a while. When we got the pressure up, there was some vibration, so that riser probably just wiggled out. So we'll come back and then we'll have to retighten that on. I was having some difficulty last night with the system, but it took like an hour and a half or more to get this system fully up and pressurized. And even like at the 1.5 hour mark, some of the sprinklers were just kind of dribbling out. So this is not good. In previous years, it only took 15 minutes, maybe 25 minutes to get it up and fully pressurized if I didn't have the RPMs up high enough. It would take maybe 15 minutes, 25 minutes before. So something is going on. We're thinking that maybe it's out in the pond where the water's coming in, because we're just having difficulty getting the water into these sprinkler lines and getting any kind of pressure on our pressure gauge. There could be something clogging up that intake pipe. We've got beavers in the area. Maybe they've built, or maybe the pipe could be sitting on the bottom of the pond and we just don't know it. I think there's a chain out there that's holding the end of the pipe up, and it's attached to a barge that's floating on the pond. So not the greatest system. It's pretty old. This is not a situation that we want to be in, but here we are. I can't be spending 2 hours trying to get this system fully pressurized when we've got you know, an emergency frost. We'll head down there now. We'll turn off the engine. Things are looking pretty good here. When I pulled out the drone this morning, I was able to get up high enough, and I'm looking around here on the farm, and I can see the areas where the sprinklers aren't working. So yeah, majority of the farm is good, but we've also got some areas that we've got to go back to and get those sprinklers working again. If they were working properly, you would see nice circles, but then you can see these kind of patterns where there's frost. Those white patches would be where frost set in, where I wasn't able to get any water on top of the vines. So we'll go back and we'll fix those up. So you can see that barge out there. We'll have to go out to that barge and just start cranking that chain up. I just don't want to put that much weight. I'm not sure what would happen. I'd really hate to have that collapse on me. Just looking at it now, it doesn't look particularly safe. We're going to get out there and inspect this barge and see what's going on with the end of this pipe. We're going to just hop in our boat. Nigel and I are going to go out and inspect this. In order to get that pipe up, we'll have to crank the chain up, so we may have to get some extra tools. But we've got to get this job done here pretty quick, because we will have frost eventually, and we want to make sure that our system isn't compromised. Otherwise, we would have to flood the whole farm. All right, we got our boat in the water. Let's head over there. We're here on this barge. This thing's so old, the wood's just rotting away.
Does it feel heavy?
Yeah, there's tension on there. So this is what's holding our pipe. So we're slowly cranking this up. Everything seems pretty stable. So we've got some of this chain exposed. You can see how really rusty that is. So it's been under there for 30 years. We've got to be careful that we don't break one of those links. Okay, we got this all cranked up now. So this is the box. And inside this box is the end of our pipe, which has a check valve on it. So our barge is holding up. You can see that pipe there now. It wasn't actually too far down below this barge.
It's just sinking.
Okay, maybe too much weight up there.
She's starting to tip.
We have 4 bolts that we got to get off, and then this we can take the plate off the top, and we can get access inside of it. You can see inside there. Hopefully you can sort of see that the end of that pipe. So there's our check valve in there. You can see there's like inside there's a flap. These stainless steel bolts have held up for 30 years. They look like pretty good condition. Those other 2 on the other side came off just fine with our impact gun. Screwed it. Yeah, they were looking pretty good.
It's all stainless. So they had that much to do.
Oh my god. So. Oh yeah, it's closed right now. We've got the lid off our cage here. You can see the check valve inside. So we're gonna give not just gonna push on that. So we got in there. We pushed that check valve, and it seems to be freely moving. It's hard to get it fully open with your arm. There's a spring on the inside. We're gonna fill this pipe up with water and just turn the engine on, and we'll see if the engine and the suction will open that up fully. We're gonna fill up this line now, fill it all with water. That way we've got the pipe all primed up. We're gonna start the engine. We've got that check valve submersed, so we'll be able to turn it on, and then we'll be able to watch the water get sucked in and see if that valve is opening all the way. If this ends up not being the issue, then well, at least we've got out here and we were able to do some maintenance on this. We actually have never seen this before. This was all built before we bought the farm, and it's actually a pretty nice unit. Stainless steel cage, everything's all stainless steel, so except for the chain that's holding it. God, I made a real mess of myself here. It's going to put extra weight on this barge, and we've got it up here fully, so just got to be careful this thing doesn't collapse on us. It's pretty old. You can see how the sides are just leaning in like that on that side as well. We'll have to eventually make a new barge.
Yeah, see if you can see it opening up.
I'm going to put my hand in there and see how the check valve is. So we've got that engine turned right up, and you can see the water's going in, but I just put my arm in there, and that check valve is not opening all the way. It might be open a third of the way.
Yeah, that's not open up. That feels stiff.
So Nigel's seeing the same issue. We're gonna see if we can pry that thing back open. Maybe it's just after the years, it's got so much crud in there holding it. All right, so that's all the air coming out of that pipe, going around that check valve. We raised this up so the engine would suck all the water out, and now we've got an empty line.
Did I get it all out?
Yeah. It's just a bunch of air coming out. I think the spring's acting up.
So we got this lid back on. We're gonna rip off this old chain, and we'll pop the new one on. We messed around with that check valve, may have loosened it up. We'll start up the engine later and see if it improved anything, but I think we will need a new check valve on there. Stepped right in there. Stepped right in there. I almost lost my footing. Look at this whole thing. Just rotting away. Okay, so that's fully lowered. We're gonna go turn that engine on and see if it's working a little better. We're gonna head back to shore now. That was quite the experiment. I'm glad that didn't collapse on us and nothing went wrong, but it was built to last 30 years. Yeah, we think it looks a little worse. And while we were out there, we were messing around with that check valve, opening it and shutting it, and we had a metal bar in there. We were able to move it around, so that may have freed it up a bit. You want to grab the boat, Titus? Pull us in. Good job. Hold on to it. So this black line right here runs right underneath the berm, underneath me, straight out to that barge. There we go. Our system is up and running, it's fine now. So whatever we did out there, it worked. Much better. I think just getting down there, pulling that pipe up and cleaning it out like that helped a lot. That's a huge contrast from the other day.
Well, then obviously came ahead. Whatever you did, you came ahead. Anything that's going to stick is going to be something that moves. So there's a hinge and a spring that maybe is a weak point.